Hello folks. So in this video we're going to be looking at trying out some things. So I want to actually set up a observability stack using Prometheus, Grafana, Alert Manager, and for logs using Grafana Loki. I might try out more, but for now these, and I want to connect all these together. Like for example, connect Grafana to Prometheus data source, connect Grafana to Grafana Loki data source, and then connect Prometheus and Alert Manager so that if there are any alerts in Prometheus, then it can route it to Alert Manager, and Alert Manager can route it to Slack, PagerDuty, or whatever. I'll probably use emails for now or something else. Let's see. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with Prometheus. So I want to actually try out the latest version, which is both the latest stable version, the released version, and also unreleased one. So let's look at what is the latest released version. So it says 3.6.0. Is there anything else like 4. Anything? Looks like there's been an RC and all that in 3.6.0. Think this is the latest, but let's just ensure by say going to I have this in local, so looks like I actually cloned a lot of these things. Interesting. Okay, so looks like I already cloned a lot of these things, so I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I can just clone and get everything. So I can see a lot of new tags over here, a lot of changes and a lot of new tags. So 3.6.0 tag, right? So okay. Cool. Git tag. So you can just say cat and you can just be like, is there any 4. I think not. Only yeah. So 3 only is the thing. So there are a lot of 2 and then 0 and then 1. Cool. So 3.6 seems to be the latest. So you can actually look at their website, and interesting, they have some search. So I wonder what they used for search. Is it Algolia or what? Let me just say Alert Manager. Interesting. I want to see what they use. Network. Alert Manager. It's not showing up. Record rule. Yes, some page find index. Okay, looks like they've used something. Something called as page find, and I don't know. There is some fragment and all coming out. I wonder how they've done it. Anyways, so it's coming from Prometheus only though. So if I pick this up, it says pf index. I wonder what that is. Wow, it's a big file. If I choose oh, it's like a, I think, binary thing. We can't open it. Yeah. Anyways, okay. Interesting stuff. Okay. Now we went on a tangential. So now let's get back to just getting the latest version of this installed and running. So they have a lot of links over here to mention stuff. Like for example, they clearly say that it's an open source thing. We know Prometheus is a very popular open source thing. There are other open source monitoring systems like I think there's one called Graphite. So code review, Graphite, free online vector and editor and procedural design, Graphite project. I think this is on this. So Graphite documentation, Graphite open source software. So it's yep. So this is Graphite and their docs, Carbon Demons, interesting names. Anyway, so this is the Graphite project. Does three things: kick ass, chew bubblegum, make it easy, store in graph metrics. It's all out of bubblegum. Anyways, very interesting stuff. This is open source basically. So interestingly, for support, you can just go to Stack Overflow. Cool. So the others that are there in this space are InfluxDB, which is also a company. So Influx Data, right? So you can just do this, and this is the enterprise version, but you can get the open source free version also. I think the open source free version has some lesser features. For example, you can run only one node. In enterprise version, I think you can do clustering. At least this was the case long back, like some 6-7 years back. So yeah, I mean, open source metrics and monitoring for your systems. So it's a monitoring tool, and it's a time series database, by the way. So open source metrics and monitoring for your systems and services. Monitor your applications, systems and services with the leading open source monitoring solution. Instrument, collect, store and query your metrics for alerting, dashboarding and other use cases. So dimensional data model. So models time series in a flexible dimensional data model are identified by metric name and a lot of key value pairs, which are called labels, label name and label values. And then there's a value for the metric. Powerful queries, the PromQL. The PromQL is basically short for Prometheus query language. Query language allows you to query, correlate and transform your time series data in powerful ways for visualization, alerts and more. And precise alerting rules are based on PromQL and make full use of the dimensional data model. A separate alert manager component handles notifications, grouping of alerts, silencing and all that. Ubiquitous integrations comes with hundreds of official and community contributed integrations that allow you to easily extract metrics from existing systems. So instrumentation libraries provides a large number of official and community contributed metrics. Instrumentation libraries that cover most major languages, and then simple operation. Servers operate independently and only rely on local storage. Developed in Golang, the statically linked binaries are easy to deploy across various environments. So monitoring the cloud native world, open source, and it's under Cloud Native Computing Foundation (CNCF). So if you look at the download or the getting started, this is how it will start up. So download the latest release and configuring Prometheus monitor itself, and then starting Prometheus. So let's just say download Docker images. We'll just use binaries itself for now. So we have ARM64 in our case. So just a minute. Stay in the call. So we have LSB uname, right? So we have ARM over here, as you can see, right? It's Darwin ARM64. So let's just get the latest, which is this ARM64. Cool, 64 for Darwin, right? So we'll just get this. Once this downloads, we can just open it up. Architecture popular, all is a lot. Okay, so this is for multiple architectures. Only the popular ones you can just give it, or ARM64. Yeah. Operating system just for Darwin for now. Yeah. So cool. So once this is done, we'll just open it up. Okay, we've opened it up. It has opened the tarball, and we have the prompt tool and Prometheus. Cool. So next thing to do is just go to get started and let's configure it. So Prometheus collects metrics from targets. So there are some targets or endpoints by scraping metrics HTTP endpoints. Since Prometheus exposes data in the same manner about itself, it can also scrape and monitor its own health. So while a Prometheus server that collects only data about itself is not very useful, but it's a good starting example. So say the following basic Prometheus configuration as file name prometheus.yaml. Okay. So this is global scrape interval, and so starting Prometheus, just do this. So we'll have a this is called prometheus.yaml. Okay. .yml, and so you have global. The scrape interval globally for all the targets, I guess by default is this. If you want some specific scrape interval, like for example 5 seconds here for a specific job or target, then you can mention that. That's my guess at least. And then external labels, attach these labels to any time series or alerts when communicating with external systems. Federation, remote storage, alert management. Okay. So an extra label called code lab monitor, and then the job name is Prometheus, and it's localhost 9090, and we can start Prometheus by just doing this. Shows its database in .data flag is storage time series database path, right? So let's look at downloads Prometheus. Okay, done. So this cannot be opened up because just a minute. I'll just X attribute. Yeah. Let me just do this so that it can not have this problem, because it's free of malware. It could not verify that it's free of malware and all, and it may compromise your privacy, or it may contain malware and all that may harm your Mac. So to get rid of that issue, like just remove this. So it's actually having an attribute called pom.apple quarantine, so that's why this thing. So now it should work. So it says Prometheus YAML not given. So just provide the help to see what is there. So there's a lot of stuff over here. So by default it's 1990 port, and UI API and telemetry can be repeated, and then Golang memory list, Golang max processors and all that. There is storage stuff, time series database, retention time, right? Is there a default? I don't know. Retention, it's default is 15 days, right? So then retention size, the default is based on powers of 2. So 1K is okay. I think there's no default here. And then not create log file and data directory used with server mode only. Okay. So a lot of storage related stuff. There's also write ahead log compression and all. So we'll read all this. So for now, I'll just say I could just let me see how this git ignore looks like. Does it have Prometheus prompt tool? Yes, I can actually move these from downloads to prompt tool to here. I'll just copy this, right, and then just be like Prometheus, yeah, and then prompt tool. I think this problem will come up again, malware thing. Just say sudo attribute and then prompt tool from Prometheus PB, I don't know what that is. Anyways, so once you remove it, it's not there anymore. So hyphen D is for removing or deleting. So prom tool, Promio, what is Promio? I think I already had this, I think. Which is already in my anyways. Prom tool dot slash. So this is some stuff like tools around tooling for Prometheus monetization, tools around that. For example, check ready, and then you can do a dump of the time series database apparently, and like multiple stuff. Interesting. Cool. So let me start the Prometheus server by giving it the configuration file. So the configuration language is basically YAML only, and so yeah, this can we provide the config YAML file here? Prometheus from you. Okay, yeah, YAML files are ignored, so I think we can do it. Is it there? No, there's no such file, right? So I'll just move this file, or I'll copy this file, copy path, cp this to this, right? And open it up. Cool. So now it's running. So we have Prometheus running 9090, and you can actually check out the configuration. Yeah, let's look at the configuration. This should give you the configuration. So it has some, okay, Prometheus, this is what we configured. We didn't mention all of this. I think this is the default. Script protocols is open metrics text 1.0.0, text metrics text 0.0.1, Prometheus text 0.0.4, and Prometheus text 1.00. And this is default, all this, I think. So yeah, and let's just go to the metrics endpoint itself to see how it looks like. Does it have the code lab monitor? Okay, this extra label won't be there over here, but when it communicates with the external systems, I think it will be there. So you have Go related stuff and Prometheus related stuff. Do you have anything? Yeah, you do have it. So you have API notification, active subscribers, and engine query duration and whatnot. A lot of things, right? HTTP request duration, and then requests total 200, 202 and whatnot, and for different paths, right? So it's a lot of stuff. They have a lot of stuff. They also have compaction, chunk range, like around the time series database. TSDB is short for time series database. TS is time series. DB is database. So yeah, cool. So we have the latest version of Prometheus running. So starting Prometheus and using the expression browser. So let us explore data. So here it says should start up. You should also be able to browse to a status page about itself. Give it a couple of seconds to collect data about itself from its own HTTP metrics endpoint, and then serving metrics about itself when navigating to its interfaces. Yeah, we've done all of this. You can go to the graph to use it. So navigate this and choose the table view within the graph tab. So basically just do this, and you can go to the graph tab or table tab. So you just say something like this: target interval length seconds. So let's say this. So job Prometheus. So I think this is some 99 percentile or quantile, and like how much time it takes, I'm not sure. Like about itself is named, as you can gather from the within the graph tab, table view within the graph tab. Okay, this is more of the query tab now. It's not the graph tab anymore. So table view and graph is like this. explain is just to explain. I think explain the query tree view and all that. Okay. So actual amount of time between target scrapes. Enter the below into the expression console and then click execute. Okay. So yeah, we did that. And this should return a number of different time series along with the latest value recorded for each. Each with a metric name Prometheus target interval and seconds, but with different labels. These labels designate different latency percentiles, so 99 percentile and all that. So, and target group intervals. If we are interested in the 99th percentile latencies, we could use this query. So it's the time it takes, I guess. So yeah, so it takes, this is in seconds, it takes 5 seconds. Wow. So to count the number of return time series, you could write this. Okay, just the number of, this is 5 of them. You say count and you should see 5, and just for 99th percentile you should be able to see this, and in a graph you should be able to see this. So it's around 5 seconds. And yeah. Cool. So using the graphing interface, so you can look at the graph expressions, navigate to this and use the graph tab. So it's now not the graph, it's the query hereafter. So yeah, for example, enter the following expression to the thing, and you have the per second rate of chunks being created in the cell script Prometheus. Okay. Okay. So let's do this, and you have this. This is the table. We look at the graph. So we have this, right? So head chunks are created total. So to graph the per second rate per second, like basically it's a 1 minute, over a 1 minute range they've taken range being created in this cell script Prometheus. Experiment with the graph range parameters and other settings. Starting up some sample targets. So let's add additional targets for Prometheus to scrape. The node exporter is used an example target. For more information on it, see these instructions. So we use the node exporter, which is to export metrics about the node where the node exporter is running. So it can be a Linux machine or Windows machine or Mac OS and anything. So yeah. Installing and running. So you basically once you download it from the Prometheus downloads, okay. So yeah. So basically node exporter is here. You can also see there is something called prominence, the query builder, analyze and explainer, push gateway. There are a lot of stuff they have. So let's just use the ARM64 Darwin thing over here and copy. So this is the GitHub URL only. So yeah, this is the latest version. Let's just open this up like this itself, and we have it already, right? So just open up the node exporter and node exporter. This will again say this trash and all. Sudo x attribute node exporter. Cool. Node exporter. Yep, it's running. Okay. So that's how you get the metrics. So you can just go to the metrics and notice it. So if you go to localhost 9100, the node exporter and /metrics to see the metrics. Heap usage, there is some preprof, this performance profile. So for 60 seconds CPU usage and this heap memory usage. So pprof.me, I wonder what that is. Polar signals. Okay. Looks like these people have some visualization. Interesting. Performance engineering. Yeah. Cool. We'll get back to this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close these, and you can actually actually see the metrics and all, right? So localhost 9100 metrics. So you can actually grab the node metrics and all. So here you should find node underscore CPU seconds total, disk write, file system available, like how much bytes are available and whatnot, at different mount points and all. Any device errors, file system files free and whatnot. So you can just put node and localhost 9100 and it will pick it up, right? So this, yeah. So here they say start 3 sample things and then you put different things. So 8081 group canary and all that. So you just put these labels and it will come up. So let's just start saying something like 8080, 8081 and all that. So 8080, right? This is 8080. There's gonna be 8081 and there's gonna be 8082. Cool. Now we'll configure Prometheus with these. So we have Prometheus cool. So here I will go ahead and put following job definition and restart your Prometheus. Yeah, I'll restart. Now we'll configure Prometheus to create these new targets. Group all 3 endpoints into one job called node. Okay. Oh. And then there are multiple targets inside. Okay, we'll imagine that the first 2 endpoints are the production targets. While the third one represents a candidate. To handle this in Prometheus, you can add several groups of endpoints into a single job, adding extra labels to each group of targets. Okay. In this example, we'll add the group production label to the first group of targets while adding group candidate to the second. To achieve this, add the thing. Yep. So we'll just say node, and that should be good, right? So configure rules for aggregating. Yeah, just so I'll just restart this, right? So now I should be able to see that there are multiple things going on here. If I check the status and check the service discovery, I should be able to see the different nodes over here. You can see production, canary, 2 productions and 1 canary. This is 8081, 8080, and you can also see Prometheus itself, and you can actually see target health if they're all healthy, right? So, and then you can see configuration and alert manager, target health, rule health, runtime and build information. This is just to know which version of stuff you're running. TSDB, nothing is mentioned here. TSDB stuff is here, I think. Yep. Any time series database status. Configuration, this is the whole configuration that you give, along with any defaults that they used. Alert manage discovery, no active alert manager. So yeah, cool. So rule health, this is I think record rules and alert rules. Record rules are basically derived metrics, I think, and then alert rules are basically to create alerts. So now configure rules for aggregating. So go to this one, verify the Prometheus now has information about time series such as node CPU total. Let's just see that out. Node CPU total, yeah, it has. And you can see group canary. If you click it, it'll actually get added. I think it'll get copied. Let me see. No, it doesn't get copied. It just if you do double click, it'll get copied. So you can see here, copied matcher, and then you can just do this, right? So if you do this, so it will copy and you can just do it. Cool. So you have production and canary, and for production you have 8081 and 8080 also, I think. Yeah, 8080 also. Cool. So now, so it says, though not a problem in our example, queries that aggregate over thousands of time series can get slow when computed ad hoc. To make this more efficient, Prometheus can pre-record expressions. Okay. So Prometheus can pre-record expressions into new persisted time series via configured recording rules. So this is what record rules are. Let's say we are interested in recording the per second rate of CPU time. Per second rate of CPU time, CPU seconds total, averaged over all CPUs per instance per node, but preserving the job instance and node dimensions as measured over a window of 5 minutes. We could write this as average by given a specific set of job instance and node, find the rate of node CPU over a 5 minute. Try graphing this expression. Okay, to record the time series resulting from this expression into a new metric called job instance mode, node CPU seconds average rate 5 minute. Create a file with the following recording rule and save it as okay, so and we have to mention record rules. I think root files is prometheus.rules.yaml. Okay, evaluate rules every 15 seconds. Okay, so rule files are mentioned. So let's just go put this here, and so you can actually see this. So it says the job is node, mode is idle, node is nice, system user idle. Okay, so and then given the instance, right? So 8080, 8081 and all that, and you can actually graph it out and you'll see this, right? And you can actually have a Prometheus rule. Prometheus.rules.yaml, and mention the evaluation thing. So rule files is here, and evaluation interval is 15 seconds. Evaluate rules every 15 seconds. Right. Cool. So now you can restart your Prometheus and you should see your status and rule health. These are the rules we have. Health is unknown, is it? Every 15 seconds it will evaluate. Okay, so yeah, it's good now. Right, duration of last rule evaluation 2 milliseconds. So last rule evaluation time, so every 15 seconds it will evaluate, right? And we have not mentioned anything over here how much time frame, but anyways, 14 seconds ago, 9 seconds ago, it should be few seconds ago then. That's all. Yeah, cool. So we have this, and if you click you will see what is the meaning of this. So if you do a query rule expression, then it will open up this, and you can also go in okay, I can't copy this. I'll just copy this, and I can just say job. I think it will come up here. I'll just type, yep. Cool, so that's that. And then finally we are good. As mentioned in the configuration documentation, can have its configuration reloaded without restarting the process by using the hub signal. And this can be performed by replacing PID. Okay, cool. So while Prometheus does have recovery mechanisms in the case that there is an abrupt process failure, it is recommended to use signals or interrupts for a clean shutdown of a Prometheus instance, unless this can be done by sending the sig-term or sig-ending signals to the Prometheus. Kill -s, replacing signal with the signal name, and PID with the Prometheus process ID. Alternatively, you can press the interrupt character at the controlling terminal, which by default is Control C. So that's what I have been doing, Control C. Let's just copy these up. I'm going to stop this here. So we have latest version of Prometheus running, so it's a good thing. And also try to build Prometheus. Let me see if I can build Prometheus. from scratch. Right. 3.6 was when it was pretty recent. Okay. So I think 3.7 stuff has started out now. This is 3.6, right? I don't know why there's also 306.0. That's interesting. Something to come back to later. Anyways, how do you build Prometheus installation from source? See the makefile targets in the respective repository. Setting the commands. Okay, volumes in bind mode. Okay. Prometheus data. This is all in. So I should just open up this directory and look at the makefile. Yeah. There is also a makefile common. So this is a makefile, right? So I'll just make it as a makefile this too. And basically, if I do npm dependencies, wow, we have some. Okay, the web UI they use npm because it's written in JavaScript, of course. So they need a node package manager to get some browser packages, npm registry, and get browser packages now. So the web UI, the console. It's a web app, right? So now assets, clean parser, tarball. I think what I want is basically, are there plugins? Interesting. Anyways, I actually want the build. Okay, so I want common build from you, common tarball, common docker. Okay. So Linux. Okay. I don't want docker stuff. I want actually the binary itself. Docker file. Git pod docker file. Oh. This one just copies, right? I think that's what it does. So copy Prometheus from tool. So this is what I'm looking for. I think Docker should help with finding out how they do things. So first, common Docker, okay, percentage. So publish, tag latest, manifest, okay. From you, go test directory. Prometheus. Okay. Bump go version. Check go mod version. Bench time series database build. Yeah. But the build does a lot of stuff. Common build. What is common build? From you and then building binaries. Okay. I think this is what we need. I think prom u is to build stuff. As you can see here, utility tool for building and releasing Prometheus projects here. Let's just try to use make this and let me see how it works. So it's downloading stuff. So it's making Prometheus. So build prefix and that's it. So that's how it does it. Interesting. So I think the PromU utility will have details on how to build and all that. I think it's a Golang tool probably. So anyways, I think with this, I should have the latest version of Prometheus running. Promu version is this. Prometheus version is 3.6. So let's see how this comes of us. This should create a .build. So the data has all the data basically. I think git ignores data also. Yeah, it ignores data also. So we have data inside that. Cool. Let's see if I can find build now. Nope, not yet. Undefined embed fs. Okay. Oh, basically you need the user interface. They basically put the UI assets inside it. So yeah, I think there's an error over there. So basically embed fs, I think embed fs. Anyways, I think we can just do something like build and we should have it again. Because first of all it has to build the web UI, the web console user interface. They have to build it and then put the assets, final built asset inside the binary embedded, so that it can serve the HTML, CSS, JavaScript and other files, images and whatnot. So I think once that is done, I wonder what version of npm it's using. Package, JSON, engine, nothing. Package, maintain UI. There are different UIs actually. Okay, I think this is what the UI version is. 301 monorepo for Prometheus UI 306. Yeah. Cool. So maintain UI, and then laser from QL, code mirror from QL. Cool. What would you like? I should do it regularly. So contributing, just do go build and quickly compiling and testing your changes. Do this. Okay, you can just do this apparently and it will come up. So for example, go build and I'll probably have to move the Prometheus thing, or say go build -b -o Prometheus latest, and then /command Prometheus. Yeah, that's it. This should build stuff. I think now it has built it. No. Okay. This was built just a minute ago. So if I remove this, I think make will actually just build it off. I want to see this also build up. Let's see. Is a TypeScript compilers. I think they use TypeScript. TSC, I think it's TypeScript compiler. TS, yeah. Lot of TS files. And TSX, not JSX, TSX, yeah. So this is finally happening. TypeScript compiler, white build. I think this is to do all the minification and whatnot, and any transformation and transpilation and all that. So this is doing the Prometheus build. Here it has done Prometheus build. This should not run. I mean, it should give an error saying, oh, it runs because Prometheus.yaml is there. Version should be branch nothing, but yeah, it should be git log -1 f4, right? This one. Cool. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, here you'll have Prometheus /Prometheus version. I think it builds the latest, is it? It says branch main, but it has this version only, which is gitlog -1. Yeah, it's this one basically. It puts the branch and everything. So unlike the one in the downloads again, Prometheus version, it won't be F4, it'll be 491, yeah, branch head. Cool. I think that's all I had for this video. I'll see you on the next one. Here it was built with KP.local. Cool. See you on the next one. Bye bye.